Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Sunday. Here we are, as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us in any capacity that you're able to. Coming here live, either every single week or as you're able to, catching the replay, sharing it with others, liking, following, subscribing, all of that, sharing, all of that helps so very much. And I appreciate each and every one of you that are here with us. Intention is on the screen already. Usually I put it up there. So here's our intention for this week. From within comes powerful shifts. From within comes powerful shifts. Now maybe this is the first time you're hearing the intention, maybe not. It's always released on Sunday or Saturday, so that way you have a little time to sit with it yourself if you'd like to before we meet here. I think, and I encourage you to sit with it a little while, even if it's just a couple minutes before coming on to the meditation, because really good things come out of the meditation, but there's really good things there's invaluable things that come out of your own contemplation compared to what we do right here with the intention. So just gonna sit with the intention for just a moment to see what comes up when you hear the words, when you think the words, when you feel into the words. From within comes powerful shifts. From within comes powerful shifts. How does that make you feel? What does it make you think? Does it make you excited? Does it make you anxious? Does it make you nervous? Does it make you happy? Do you feel confident about those words? Do you feel unconfident about those words? So I'm going to try to do the best with my voice. If you were here last week, you know that we only did the first part of the meditation, which wasn't the actual meditation. It was just this first talking part. Because I had a cold that was just coming on last Sunday, and there's no way I'm going to try to guide anybody through a meditation when it's possible that I could be like coughing through the meditation. So going to do my best. A lot better off than I was last week, but still kind of at the tail end of it. So moving on into what we have going on this week. So the sun has just ingressed into Aquarius today. So happy birthday to all of you Aquarian suns. Remember, there's always a 20% discount on meditativeastrology.com for readings and such during your sun sign season. So remember that, all of you Aquarius suns that are out there, just like to throw that out there. So happy birthday to you Aquariuses. The season is here. And that brings us into one of our first aspects that we have tomorrow. The sun is going to conjoin Pluto tomorrow at 1 degree of Aquarius. Let's see, I'm going to, let's put, sorry, wrong one. There we go. All right, still learning this. Putting the chart up. This is the chart of the moment from where I am. So 8:35 p.m. Eastern time. This chart, as far as the house locations, is relevant to my location and time zone. So things could be a little bit different where you are, depending on how far away you are from me. If you look at this chart right now, you'll notice that the moon is in the sign of Libra. It's in the second house in this chart, so if you follow the numbers in the inner circle to number 2, you'll see the moon, the sign of Libra. That's where it's at right now, at 10 degrees. The aspect that we have going on today that is just coming into a separating aspect perfected over the weekend was Venus and Saturn coming into a conjunction. So if you look at the 7th house in this chart, you'll find the sign of Pisces. At 16 degrees, you will see the glyph for Saturn. At 17 degrees, you will see the glyph for Venus. So putting the chart up here to give you a visual of those two planets coming in conjunction. You'll notice that Venus is going to come into the next conjunction with Neptune, which is the next planet, at 27 degrees as it makes its way through the middle and the last half of the sign of Pisces before moving into Aries. So Venus and Saturn coming together. Venus, the planet of love, beauty, harmony, desire, copaestheticness, cohesion, things coming together, friendship, sisterhood, all of those things that connect us, okay, that connect things and make things flow. Connection and making things flow. That is Venus in a nutshell. When Venus comes into a conjunction with Saturn, we have to look at the structures and the framework of our desires and of our relationships, and the things that we are able to create our desires and what we express within the world. So over the weekend, there has been this possibly heavy, possibly contemplative and melancholic aspect coming on this weekend, where Venus comes into a serious aspect with Saturn. It's in the sign of Pisces, so there's that contemplative, watery, emotional energy of, what brings you harmony, what fulfills your desires, and what does not. What brings cohesion to your relationships, what brings cohesion to your life and brings harmony and balance, and what does not. The way you're able to express yourself, the way you are able to create and express your creative energies that you have within you. There's a possibility that they may have felt either a little bit suppressed, or that it feels like you have to work through some things related to that. It could be a maturing of our relationships. It could be things coming to a new level, being able to create things, a new level of creation. There is lots of creative energy and creation energy. So creative energy as in like putting together some sort of project, and creation energy as far as birthing and producing things. So that energy coming through this weekend may have us starting off feeling a little serious, a little bit of a, when I say seriousness, it's not that it's a possibility that there could be feeling like a limitation, but feeling like we need to look at the structures and look at the frameworks and look at the boundaries and see how we can reach beyond those boundaries, as well as how those boundaries are being upheld in ways that we are able to fulfill ourselves, fulfill our Venusian body within those frameworks, and whether it works or whether we need new boundaries and new foundations, new frameworks, new patterns, things like that. So that coming through as Mercury is sextiling both of those planets from the sign of Capricorn, the earth sign of Saturn. So Mercury has some reception with Saturn being that it's in Saturn's sign coming into this aspect. Gives you that little bit of ability and resource and knowledge and information to be able to handle the Venus-Saturn thing. So if it's like there's something that hard has come up, maybe here's the resources to work through and to be able to do the hard things and get through them. When Venus and Saturn come together and you get through that initial like heavy breath, or that heaviness, or that initial weight that comes along with it, it can be very empowering to know that you're coming up with, that things are maturing a little bit around the Venusian subjects, and that you're able to set a clear path to where to go from here, especially with that sextile from the Capricorn Mercury. It allows you to kind of see a way forward if there's something that's a little bit difficult, or to get through the obstacle. So that is our first little ping this week of the intention. From within comes powerful shifts. Being able to contemplate and look at the structures and the systems and find ways to tweak them or finesse them a little bit to make them work with us, or work a little bit more fluidly together as we go forward with it. So that's a fun way to start off Aquarius season. Then tomorrow on Monday, the sun makes a sextile to the North Node, having us taking a picture of where, sorry, I have that in the reverse. The sun's going to make the sextile, already made the sextile to the North Node from 29 degrees. So that one coming through Saturday to Sunday, but still playing a factor as far as looking at where we are going with things. So Venus and Saturn looking at the framework and the structure and the futuristic ability of like, where do we go from here? This is what's worked and this is what hasn't worked. Sun sextiling the North Node is going to, especially at that 29th degree, gives you that finality of we need to shine some light and illuminate where we're moving forward here, in that type of way. So we have that coming through at the beginning of this week, and then as the sun moves forward, it's going to starts to be in applying as soon as the sun moves into Aquarius. So we're in this applying aspect now of the sun making a conjunction with Pluto. Sun Pluto is very, very intense energy coming together. There is strong, deep, powerful energy when Sun Pluto come together. When I was thinking about this aspect earlier, I had kind of the image in my head of somebody sitting in a dark room, or some sort of object in a dark room with a spotlight down on it. So the only focus is on that one thing. When the sun comes into an aspect with a planet, or especially a conjunction, because then it's fully illuminated, there's an illumination or putting a spotlight on that planet. So there's an emphasis on that planet. Pluto is deep, intense information coming through. It's a deep look at consistent energy when you look at Pluto amplifying the sun. Consistent energy, the sun, the reason that sun represents God or the soul is that those are unchanging energies. So your soul, like you within your human body, you change, right? Like we grow, we get older, we get bigger, taller, shorter, skinnier, whatever. We grow and we change. Our bodies change, and we know that this life is temporary. However long it is, it's a temporary life. However, if you believe this, like I do, your soul is eternal, your soul is infinite, your soul is never born, never dies. Just like that universal God energy. So the sun is the one consistent thing that never changes within our solar system. Yes, it follows a very consistent pattern. So it changes as far as the degrees and the signs that it's in, and the way that it's expressing itself through those different signs. But the sun follows a very direct path through the ecliptic. It doesn't vary from that. It does not go retrograde like other planets do. It does not change the amount of light that it gives off like the moon does. The only way that the amount of light you can see changes is by cloud cover overhead of you. So that actual light, the actual illumination of the sun does not change. We expect that the sun will rise and set at a specific time during the daytime. And our life, our cycles, our routines are very dependent on the sun. So we depend on the sun being very, very consistent, okay? So when I say a deep look at consistent energies, you have the life force, you have the soul, you have parental figures, you have you have the themes and the stories of your lives that are unchanging, those drives and those main themes and the purpose of your life does not necessarily change. You might add a little bit to it or take a little bit away. Things might kind of shift a little bit, but the overall like purpose or character arc of your life doesn't necessarily change. So there could be deep looks at these consistent energies, deep looking at our soul and our soul's purpose. Deep look at the consistent energies that we have that are related to the universal energies that are around us. Deep connections to those type of energies. So that's Pluto may put a focus on the sun. When the sun puts a focus on Pluto, it puts a focus and a spotlight on very, very deep energies within us. Deep, intense desires, deep, intense thoughts. Pluto is in the sign of Aquarius, so we know that there are some tones of reaching towards those higher ideals through the mental realm. Aquarius is a sign that always is reaching for the highest possible expression of thoughts and ideas, and the way that different systems work together. Very humanitarianism as far as looking at broad spectrum, as far as population goes, not necessarily looking at the individual, but looking at like the whole group or the whole population. It's very idealistic in the sign of Aquarius, and only accepting the highest expression mentally, and as far as the air realm goes, where like Capricorn, the earthly sign of Saturn, is always looking at highest expression within the earth realm, within the physical realm and the material realm. So one is climbing forward in an earthly way, and the other is climbing forward in a airy mental type way. So the deep intensities of our mind can be illuminated this week. There can be a very empowering moment when the Sun Pluto come together. It can be so much so that it becomes domineering, it becomes a bit of a struggle, a power struggle in a way, because people are overriding others. But as far as our intention goes this week, it can be very empowering to look within you and find that illuminating light that comes from within your being. Like, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine type thing, but that little light of yours turns into a big, huge spotlight that comes out and can't be ignored. So it's very strong, powerful, willful energy, just being sure that it doesn't tip into obsessiveness, compulsiveness, suppression of others or other people's ideas, things like that, as it comes through this week. So that's Monday into Tuesday, but really it's in the applying aspect. And then Thursday we have a couple Uranus aspects. Uranus, anytime that you have any sort of planet coming through an aspect to Uranus, we have two positive aspects. Let's go ahead and we'll put the chart back up and take a peek at those. So this is the chart on Sunday, about the time that we're starting the meditation, bringing it through Monday into Tuesday here. You'll see where the Sun moves across Pluto in the 6th house, and then Tuesday the Moon moves through the sign of Scorpio, as well as Wednesday, and then we're going to move into Thursday. You can find Uranus in the sign of Taurus in the 9th house in this chart. So if you look towards the top, you'll find the 9th house going by the numbers in the middle, and then the only planet there is Uranus at 23 degrees. So we have aspects from Mars. So if you look towards the left of the chart, 2 houses over in the 11th house, you'll find Cancer, Mars at 23 degrees. And then if you go back up to Uranus and you go towards the right and you go down to the 5th house, where you will find Mercury in the sign of Capricorn. You have a trine there between those two planets. So you have both of these planets, both Mercury in the sign of Capricorn and Mars in the sign of Cancer, making aspects to Uranus at the same time coming through this week. Anytime you have a planet making an aspect to Uranus, there is some sort of enlightenment, there's some sort of breakthrough, there is some sort of reaching beyond the bounds or beyond the box that you are put in, and breaking through glass ceilings. It's doing something a little bit different, changing your routine. It's having the courage to move forward and to do things a little bit different. It can be the rebellionship of I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to be suppressed or do this one thing that's not working. I'm going to try this other thing and see if it works. Or I'm going to do what I want to do because I've been held down for whatever reason. So it's breaking through, it's breaking free, it's doing things a little bit different. When you have the trine from Mercury, it's speaking and saying things different. It's finding different resources that pop up for you. Physical resources too, because this is a trine in the earth sign that can help you some way, or being able to expand on your physical resources in a little bit different way. Maybe if there was some sort of habit that you've been wanting to start that you haven't been able to quite do, maybe Mercury and Uranus will give you just that little bit of nudge to have the courage to do something different, or have the willfulness to do something a little bit different, to speak something different. If there's something that you've been wanting to say, this is the day that you might say it. However, if that is that you've been wanting to tell somebody to kick rocks and that doesn't come off very nicely, then, who knows what comes from that. If it's that you've been holding back of expressing yourself communicatively somehow, it could be that you now find the courage or the expansion to be able to do that within some way. At the same time, Mars making that sextile to Uranus from Cancer gives you a motivation to do it from a personal level. We've been talking a lot about how Mars in the sign of Cancer tends to either the personal self and the personal space. Cancer is ruled by the moon, which represents the body and the mind and the memory. So it's all about this, what makes up this being in the sign of Cancer. So Mars in Cancer tending to those small little spaces within us, or those little areas that need nurturing. So finding that power from within you, from caring for yourself, to be able to take steps and take those physical actions and do the things that need to be done in order to achieve that Uranian thing and to be able to do something a little bit differently. So maybe it's, I could see a different routine coming in with both of these planets, with Mercury and Mars making the aspect, like having the courage to start that routine or start that process that you've been wanting to do that you haven't been doing. If there's some way that you feel like you haven't been caring for yourself, then maybe Mars and Uranus, especially across the Taurus and Cancer axis, will allow you to find it within you, okay? Find that from within you, you can find those powerful shifts that are going to pop up in a way. Very empowering energy that we have coming across this week, starting with the Saturn-Venus conjunction being a little bit like maybe something that makes us realize where we're uncomfortable, but then from there it feels like there's a possibility to grow and to be able to feel empowered. Again, empowerment can always tip into a little bit of the excess, which is going to not be the most positive, perhaps. But sometimes we need that little bit of courage, that little bit of that little bit of like feel-good energy that gives you just enough push, just enough of an ego boost to be able to start the thing, and then you can be able to keep rolling with it. And then at the end of the week, we have a trine between Venus and Mars. Trines are of the nature of Jupiter, so they're expanding, just like that trine between Mercury and Uranus. So this is a water trine, so this is expanding through the water axis. So the things that our emotional connections, the things that connect us to other people, the things that connect us to our own emotions and our own wants, needs, and desires. This is a marrying of the masculine and feminine energy being Mars, feminine energy being Venus, but through a feminine receptive type of way. So there is an understanding and a emotional sympathy between these two planets with this trine. Venus in the sign of Pisces understands or looks at all of the collective emotions. Pisces is the sponge of the zodiac. It brings in all of the emotions, all of the thoughts, all of the feelings, all of the actions and everything, and it collects them all in this collective pool. The sign of Cancer is a little bit more personal, where it's about the collective, or not the collective energy, the personal emotional energy within this own sphere, or within your own family unit, or your own environment, or your own community. The third house that represents the environment and the community and like the extended family, that house is considered to be the joy of the moon. So you have all these little ways that connect within the chart. So the moon, and therefore Cancer, shows us this area where we tend to our environment, our own local personal environment. So it's marrying the own local personal environment with the collective environment through a connective emotional level, those emotions that connect us deeply to each other. Remember that water connects us to each other, kind of like rivers connect different earth bodies to each other. So very, very cool energy that we have coming through this week. A little bit diverse, could be a potentiality to go overboard like any energy that could possibly be out there. But it feels like it could be very empowering to move forward. And shifts can come from within. The aspects that we have for Mars being in the sign of Cancer really emphasizes that things coming from within. And then the empowerment and the power that comes through Pluto and Uranus this week really just allows that powerful shift. So you have this aspect of energy coming from within you this week, as well as the aspect of the powerful shifts, and then they're coming together. Really, it's a few aspects that we have this week, and they're all good aspects. You know, they can be kind of quick, so they can just kind of be swooping in and out. Mercury and Venus aspects especially, but they're cool, good energies. So what I want to step into this week here with our meditation is I want to reach into the empowering of ourselves from within. I want to think of that Pluto Sun conjunction being a light that shines from within us outward. So that is what we have as far as the astrology for this week. The cards that came up I thought were really, really interesting. So when I was thinking about the energy this week, what came up was the Ace of Cups, but it didn't come up in the upright position. It came up in the reverse position here. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see the picture. Ace of Cups, but it was reversed. So I thought that was interesting because the Ace of Cups to me would have feels appropriate for the energy that we have this week, especially with Mars in the sign of Cancer being a key player, because it could be stepping into a new level of connection with yourself and with others through these different powerful shifts. However, the card was in the reverse position. So that's telling me that either we're pushing away or rejecting. There's some level of this new connection that's not coming to us. So either that's because there's something missing, so it's not able to come to us in the upright position, or we're resisting it, or we're not focusing on it enough, we're focusing on something else. Either way, there's an Ace of Cups that is out there, but we're repelling it away in some way, same form or fashion. And when I just ask collectively what will help take the Ace of Cups from the reverse position, where there's either not enough or there's an excess of it, how do we take it from the reverse position into the upright position where we can receive this new connection and this new level of emotional sympathy and sensitivity within some kind. And then what came up here was the Hierophant. I thought, oh, that's interesting. It came up in the upright position as well. So when the Hierophant came up, I thought, okay, so that spiritual connection, that knowing. So the Hierophant is the masculine counterpart to the High Priestess. The High Priestess is the feminine tarot card that connects us deeply to that spiritual knowledge and information. So it's that feminine spiritual energy, that divine feminine energy, where this is more like the divine masculine energy. So it's knowing, it's that all knowing, and that consistent energy that we were talking about with the sun here. So with this card coming up to me in answer to the question about how we turn the Ace of Cups upright, it's that knowing, that unwavering knowing that you are connected to the universal energy. It's that spiritual knowing, whatever that means for you. That can be different for each and every one of us, but it can still come in play. It's that spiritual knowing of connection, support, and undying love and ability. So whatever it is that these shifts are coming from, wherever it's felt like there needs to be a shift, The holdup very well could be that we forget that we are divine creatures within a human body. We forget that we can do just about anything within reason of the life that we set up, which still, if you think about it, excuse me, if you are able to do anything within the parameters of this life that you set up, whoever you is, your soul, your eternal body and your being, you can still do anything because you are the one and your soul, however that turns out to be like you, like me, Alyssa, versus like the soul that is me, that Alyssa is just a part of. You are still able to do anything because you created those own boundaries and those own parameters within your own life. At least that's how I see things coming across. So it's that the new connections are out there, but we have to know whatever the next steps are that we have to take. We have to know that we are divinely supported because we are divine creatures, and all of the creation energy comes from within. Yes, there might be resources, there might be tools, there might be people and things that around us that are very helpful and make it possible, but really it all comes from within us on some level there. So I thought it was really, really inspiring as the Hierophant came up after the Ace of Cards came up reversed, because I thought, well, that's interesting. Why are we not quite confident enough in the Ace of Cups? Why are we resisting it? Why do we think like it's not there when it really is there? So cool energy that we have coming on this week, and we are going to step into just stepping into our own power here this week through the meditation, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be lovely. So I'm gonna leave that intention up for just one more minute here. From within comes powerful shifts. From within comes powerful shifts. The pinned comment on Facebook is not correct. That's last week's intention about motivating perspectives. From within comes powerful shifts. Okay, so I'm going to take the intention down, and then we have our intentional candle. White as always. We've had a couple other ones lately the last few weeks, so we're coming back to white. I like white because of it's a blank slate. You can take a white candle and you can turn it into any color that you want it to be. White itself, purity, a new fresh start, cleanliness, purifying, and starting anew with the white candle. So I want to be able to, my goal here with this meditation is to open up a pathway for you to meld this meditation into whatever you need to get through this week. And when we use the white candle, this white candle has sage oil in it, which gives it extra purifying and cleansing factors. It's a clean slate. It's starting from a base where we are all supported to tune this meditation into something a little bit individualized for each and every one of us. So I'm going to light the intentional candle, and as I do so, I'm going to recite the intentional phrase, and I encourage you to do so with me in whatever capacity that you can, whether that's out loud or in your head or writing it down or whatnot. From within comes powerful shifts. From within comes powerful shifts. Light the intentional candle. And the flame ignites. As the flame ignites, the flame begins to grow. As the flame grows, so does our intention. From within comes powerful shifts. From within comes powerful shifts. From within comes powerful shifts. Whether you are feeling like you've reached a new level, like you've matured, whether you feel like you've been a little held down by Venus, Saturn, whether you feel like you've had to work through some hard things, or you've been supported by very firm, unbreakable foundations that are holding you up, there is empowerment for you this week. From within comes powerful shifts. So if you haven't already, I invite you to find a nice comfortable seated position coming into our meditation. Lay down, sit up, whatever works for you as we come into this. And if you're ready to do so, go ahead and close your eyes. If you're not quite ready to do so yet, I invite you to just soften your gaze and maybe let your eyes fall kind of just past your nose, and maybe not find something to focus intently on, but just find a point to kind of look towards. When you feel relaxed enough and your eyes are ready to close, go ahead and do so. As always, we're going to start by taking a moment to check in with our breath and the level of energy that we came to this meditation with today. Here, as we start the meditation, I encourage you not to shift, not to change, not to place any sort of judgment or opinion on the quality of your breath. I just want you to observe and acknowledge where you are at this moment. Acknowledging how your breath feels. Does it feel full and satisfying? Does it feel rushed and hurried? Does it feel like it's lacking, or does it feel like it's providing everything you need within your body? Every moment, every action, everything that has come your way, in the moments leading up to the meditation, in the day, in the weeks, in the months, in the years, and in the life, all have brought you to this moment, and all play a role in that automatic quality of your breath. Many of us, it shifts throughout a day, sometimes throughout the minutes. The thing about the breath is that it continues in varying capacities without us thinking about it. Sure, we can bring our focus to the breath. We can bring intention to the breath, but it's one of those autonomic functions that happen within our body without us even thinking about it. You breathe when you're awake, you breathe when you're asleep. You can hold your breath, but only for so long. And this is the key in remembering that we are always connected to ourselves, to the ethers around us, to God, and to the universe. As long as we have our breath, we can make that connection. Here, slowly start to deepen the inhale, allowing the goal to be for each inhale to be slightly deeper than the one became before it. Same thing with the exhales. Start to deepen the exhales, making your only goal to be that each exhale releases slightly more air than the one that came before it. As you are connected to your breath, you are connected to yourself, to your environment, and to Source. This happens through the exchange of air and energy that happens as you continue the process of breathing in and breathing out. Each time you take a deep breath in, you bring oxygen and energy into your being from your environment and from the universe around you. And on each exhale, you are taking a small part of your being that comes from within you. Small part of the oxygen and the energy that makes up your being, and you are sharing it with the environment, the ethers, and the universe that surrounds you. So as we breathe in and out, either consciously through contemplative practice like meditation, or through the autonomic functions of our body that happen without us even thinking about it, there is this exchange of breath and energy between our being and everything else around us. You and the universe, having a conversation and exchanging at all moments throughout the day. Here within our meditative practice, we step into that connection, and we step into that connection in a conscious way that allows us to remember it and honor it and step into it. Continue to deepen the inhale and the exhale, allowing each breath cycle to bring in and reach slightly deeper than the cycle that came before it. Allow each exhale to release slightly more air and leave us in a place of surrender with each exhale. This week, the sun moves across Pluto. Deep inner transformation, deep inner power, illuminating from within. Our deepest thoughts, desires, motivations, the intensities of our mind. Here we can think obsessively, or we can find an empowerment through that unchanging vision of the sun. Picture now for just a moment in your mind's eye the beautiful, glorious sun shining overhead. Picture it on a bright, bright summer day, shining down. You can feel its rays on your skin. You can see its illuminance all around you. The sun is always there, always moving on the same consistent path, supporting us, providing us with that universal intelligence of the all-knowing information. The I am connected. On your next deep breath in, you breathe in those beautiful rays of the sun. And you feel it illuminating, empowering, and warming your entire body. Exhale, release. Send out that empowerment and that strong, powerful energies out into the world around you. Take another round of breathing in and breathing out in your own time. From within comes powerful shifts. This week, both Mars and Mercury will make positive, beneficial, and prolific aspects to Uranus. Planet of change, the planet of stepping outside the box, the planet of doing something different or seeing things a different way. There may be shifts this week, powerful shifts. And it all starts from remembering that energy that is within you, that collective spiritual knowledge and spiritual connection. So as we stand tall, like the Hierophant, just tall, chest forward, head up, feeling the rays of the sun beating down on us, even if there are clouds in the sky. We are able to shift something within us to bring outward change. Uranus receiving Mars from a sextile from the sign of Cancer. Our deep inner motivations, our motivations to care for the tender, nurturing spaces and do whatever it takes to make that a physical reality. Mars and Uranus. Uranus receiving Mercury through a trine from the earthly sign of Capricorn. Mercury in Capricorn is focused, it's driven, it's rational, and clearly can see the path to take, to make a change, to make a difference within this physical world, Earth trine. What are you motivated to change? How can you change your thought process this week? What powerful shifts can come from that? Lastly, that same Cancerian Mars coming into a trine with Venus in the sign of Pisces. Connections to our emotions, connections to others, and connections to the waters of creation that have birthed each and every one of us. Venus in Pisces is sympathetic towards Mars's emotional turmoil, the urgency of the Cancerian sphere, the We need to take action now where Cancer falls within your own chart. The house location of Cancer is under a little pressure at the moment. And Venus, who before too long will be going retrograde and revisiting different energies herself, from Mars's sign to be exact, will go through her own process of revisioning. So if we can keep that in mind, this week we can give a sympathetic hand to Mars and Cancer. And your next deep breath in, I want you to feel that breath and that energy that comes within your being. I want you to breathe it in, and I want you to feel it come in through the top of your body, and as you breathe it in, it comes down towards your chest, towards your lungs, but it keeps going. Breathe that energy in towards your belly, towards your abdomen, and towards the root and the base of your body. Here, if possible, hold the inhale for just a moment and feel the fullness of that energy. Perhaps you visually see it in a way. Perhaps there's a color, there's an luminescence, there's some sort of visualization of you seeing that energy coming within you. And as you exhale and as you release, I want you to push the visualization of that energy up through your being, up from the base of your body, up through your abdomen, through your heart space, back up through your throat, and it continues to move up through the top of your head, up and out. Visualization of this wonderful connective energy coming up and out of the top of your head, raining down over your being, raining down, 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 down. It's showering its light and its love and its connection over you. This illumination of light that came from the ethers around you into your being, fully illuminating your own being before you take that energy and send it up and out through your body into the universe, into the ethers around you. Powerful shifts of energy can come from within your being. You can do hard things this week. You can break through barriers and blockages. And you can knock down those walls that feel like they've been there forever. You've already taken the first step by being here, by taking this time for yourself and the connection that comes from it. From within comes powerful shifts. Remember that universal energy always starts from within your being. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, each and every one of you that have shown up here for this meditation. Not only for myself and for being here for the group, but also for yourself and your own energy. Very, very cool energy that we have coming through this week. I like this for starting new things, but starting things that have already kind of been in the works. So clearing out blockages, having the ability to move forward. You know, Uranus in the sign of Taurus speaks to things that need to change, but have been the way they have for a long time. Taurus is a stable, solid earth sign. So the things that in Taurus have longevity. They have history, they have future, they have lots of substance. Substance is a good word. So the things that we could be looking at shifting, the things that we have been looking at shifting, and where Taurus or where Uranus has been for what feels like forever, in the sign of Taurus are things that are solid, firm, and somewhat difficult to shift. So breaking through those barriers of those things this week feels like a good possibility. Sun Pluto coming through this week, very, very intense energy, very, very deep energy. So you may see that out in the public. You may see that around you showing up in some way. You may see it showing up in yourself. So being aware of that, the over, what is the word that I'm looking for? The overpowering energy of Pluto that could potentially come through this week, but stepping into the empowering energy while not being overly powerful too, where you're like stepping on somebody else's power. So thank you, Nikita. Thank you. I'm glad that you really enjoyed the meditation tonight. Thank you everybody for being here, and I really enjoyed this meditation too. I've said this before, but doing these meditations really puts a new level of connection with myself and the energies and the planets, and I hope that you get that in one way or another yourself too. So thank you, and I will see you all next Sunday. Remember that the intention will be released Saturday, so that way you can take a peek at it, so you can look next Saturday for the intention for next Sunday. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, all the things, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. The website, Meditative Astrology, is the hub for all things. You can find replays and intentions and bookings and all of that there. And I will see you all again next week. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, empowering, and energy shifting week. So yeah, have a great day or great day, night, whatever it is, and a great week. I will see you all later. Okay, bye.